Okay, so I will, on behalf of Jane, until she's able to join us, or Jackie, I will call the meeting to order. In keeping with an act relative to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted by during the state of emergency and signed into law by Governor Baker on June 16th, 2021, this meeting will be conducted remotely over Zoom. Attendance by the committee members will be remote, and remote attendance shall count toward quorum. The meeting is being broadcast live and recorded on ECAT. Members of the public participating in the Zoom meeting may submit a written question via the text chat, provided they include their full name and address for the public record, and all votes will be by roll call. So I will just ask for roll call to be sure of who is present. Members of the committee, I have Jane Martin is not here. Alicia Cabral, I am present. Ken Carlson.
Present.
Okay. Caroline O'Neill.
Here.
David Field.
Present.
Sam Cedarbaum.
Present.
Ann Weintraub.
Present.
Tim Vamosi.
Good evening, Tim Vamosi, present.
Thank you. Jackie Weissman. Dottie Fulgenetti.
Present.
David Twombly.
Present.
Billy Soberai.
Present.
Okay, do I have everyone? Oh, Patrick Helen, excuse me.
Present. I'm here as well, Connor.
Thank you, Connor. Okay, second item on the agenda, minutes of August 18th, 2021. Are there any questions?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Thank you, Dottie. Second, anyone?
Second.
Was that
Patrick.
David? No, who was that?
Patrick.
Sorry, Patrick, thank you. Okay, all in favor? I will go through roll call again. Alicia Cabral, yes. Ken Carlson?
Yes.
Caroline O'Neill?
Yes.
David Field?
I'm non-voting.
Thank you. Sam Cedarbaum?
Yes.
Ann Weintraub?
Yes.
Tim Vamosi?
Vamosi, yes.
Dottie Fulgenetti?
Yes.
Billy Soberai?
Abstain.
Patrick Helen?
Yes.
Connor Reed?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next agenda item goes directly to PMA, the construction progress update. Chad Walter?
Yep, we'll take it away.
Thank you.
Can everyone see the screen? Yeah.
Yes.
All right, perfect. All right, so for the construction progress update, I apologize. Obviously, we didn't get to go over this last month, but a lot has been done probably since the last time we met in the middle of August. So we'll take you through some photos. We did have the topping off ceremony, so you see that here on the left. Representatives from the town of Easton, Great, PMA, Mass School Building Authority, all were present, and there was a great job by the town of Easton, and really appreciated. So you see a picture of that. On the right, you'll see a picture of the most progressed building, what we call Building E. So it's the southwest corner. It's where the pre-K on the first floor will be held. But you'll see the exterior metal framing starting to go up. You'll see some openings for the windows. So you'll see, the large windows, the horizontal windows. And then on the right-hand side, you'll see the beginning of the mock-up wall. So this is where the contractor puts together the pieces of the building to see all the connections and how they work together, and make sure that the details prior to them going on the building are worked out and are working in unison. As we move into the building, this is standing in E building. You'll see hot and cold water piping for the mechanical units traveling all around on the second floor. You also see the ductwork and roof drain piping. So you see the large ductwork on the right, and the roof drain piping basically taking all of the water that is collected on the roof through the roof drain and gets it into our underground infiltration systems, which are located around the building. All right, here you'll see the roof. On the left-hand side, you will see the air and vapor, water and vapor shield, which is being utilized as a temporary roof right now. We are experiencing a little bit of COVID material, I don't want to say impact because it hasn't impacted the project yet, but it's not here yet. It's expected to land on the site in November. So until that time, this is being utilized to weather tight the building from the top. Perfectly capable of handling it. It's just not a final condition. So these are just filtering the water to the roof drain piping that you saw. You'll see in both pictures some framing. That's actually our mechanical screens. So we'll have exterior panels around those covering the mechanical screen. So it's going to ease what I like to call an eyesore of seeing the mechanical units. Some people like to see them, but they'll be hidden, and they'll also assist with reducing the noise level from those units too. So right here you'll see, and again, we're showing these are from September, early September. This wall is actually complete at this point in time. So this is the retaining wall on the eastern side of the site. It is poured from Spooner Street all the way over to Lothrop Street now. It includes the punch-out area for the transformer pad and for the emergency generator. It took a while to complete, but it is a large wall. As you can see, it's almost 15 feet high in some areas, but complete now and looks great. On the left-hand side here, you'll see some electrical conduit runs underground. So these are actually feeding, I believe the temporary panel right there, or it's feeding from there. But these are coming from the main electric room and heading out to the furthest points in the building. Excuse me, on the right-hand side, you'll see the new and improved parking lot, or one of the parking areas that's being utilized right now by the Parkview School. Full, it's in use every day. It has binder and a final coat on it, or binder on it, and is in use and line striped and has been working great. So site comparison, you'll actually see camera one, you can see D building, and then in the second picture on the right, which was taken a couple days ago, you can actually not see D building anymore. What you can see is C building, and the picture on the right, the left-hand side of that, is actually the central administration area. So you'll see that there is no second floor to that area, although there could be eventually in the future for future expansion. But that is where the central admin would be housed, or will be housed. On the left-hand side, you'll see C building, which you can see in the previous picture. No concrete poured anywhere. On the right-hand side, you'll see slabs on deck on both the second floor and slab on grade on the first floor. So making a lot of progress there. I believe that we're working backwards towards B building, so further away up in that picture, and that was actually poured today. And then final camera comparison angle is B building, and you can see that the sheathing has progressed. Those are all the punch outs for the windows, so a lot of natural light getting into the building. Moving right around the building, you can see the safety rails up on top for safe roof access. And the site's just getting extremely busy right now. The guys right there in the picture are actually working on blocking out for those window openings. I believe that is the construction progress update. Happy to take any questions if anyone has any on the construction. Just if you have questions, just talk, because I can't see everyone. Both of my screens are taken up. Sorry.
Walter, how are we doing on the schedule? I assume we're okay.
Yep, so right now, PMA just PMA just completed our September schedule update, and that was a date of October 1st. So it was the September schedule update, date of October 1st. Chad, correct me if I'm wrong, the schedule went back accepted with some conditions. We did see a little bit of slippage. That did not mean that there was any slippage as to the substantial completion date. Brate has been targeting an earlier substantial completion date. Internal, a lot of contractors do that. But the substantial completion date of October, I believe it's 14th for the building for phase 1, still on schedule. Chad, anything to add on that?
Sure, they're still tracking early on substantial completion. They're a couple months early, but they are not as early as they once were. So when they first submitted their schedule, they were looking at a June substantial completion. They're a bit later than that. So I think that the hope that Bree had for completion next summer is dwindling, if not gone, but we're still in good shape as far as the contractual substantial completion date and the dates that this committee had previously approved.
I think one thing Chad and I spoke about this afternoon was the fact that this committee made the great decision to let the contractors have that opportunity if they want to progress the project and meet that early date on their own. But instead of absorbing the cost as part of the project, that the committee decided to go with that later substantial completion date and get the better bidding pool. Really good decision, and I think we're seeing that come to fruition here. So if there's no other questions on the progress update, we will jump right ahead to the wastewater treatment plant septic load test, which was completed in early September. I'll turn it over to Dan and Perkins' team for a quick update on this.
So I got an extensive, lengthy email today from Stantec about this because they're finishing up their calculations. And I know you'd all love me to read this long email to you, but I'm not going to. It basically says, in a nutshell, that the septic field that we have right now is adequate. So we do not need to make the field any larger. We had to remove, or we will have to remove 2 of the trenches in order to get one of the roads in, and that is also okay to do, and the field will still be adequate even after we remove those 2 trenches. So they're wrapping up their work right now, but this is good news because we actually have field expansion under the base bid. So we're going to be processing a credit change order to remove that work because it is unnecessary. At the end of this, we will have a new full permit for the whole site that will update from the I think it's the 1995 permit is the one that's out there right now. Right now you're on a temporary, but the hope is that we will be able to get a full permit for the whole site and wrap this up, and it looks like we're on the way there and in very good shape right now. So very good news.
Dan, I have a question. Has DEP agreed with Stantec's conclusions, or
not yet? They have not yet. They are submitting now.
Okay, I would hold off on credits until we hear back from the regulators.
We won't send any RFPs out until we hear back.
We won't execute any either.
No, we won't do any. This work was not scheduled until next summer, I don't think. So, or next year. So we're not in any rush. So yes, we should get everything tied up and have a nice bow on it before we ask for a credit.
Absolutely. All right. That's some good news for the committee, and obviously we'll keep an eye on that as we move through the project, give an update, as we, probably during our November meeting, and then progress towards getting that permit and approval from DEP in writing so we can move forward with the change order. Next item, we spoke about some of a little bit of the difficulties and specifically the roof and what's going on there. About a week and a half ago, PMA and Perkins Eastman were made aware that the roofing membrane is not available and has an unknown availability. So this is a product that is it's from Sarnafil. It's the G410, that's the unavailable. It's the 80 mil thickness product. It's the product that this committee was offered the 30-year warranty. I think the PCO was for about $16,000. It was approved to move forward with it because the 72 mil product was not available. Unfortunately, the time came and gone when this material was supposed to be on site. It did not arrive, and Sarnafil and the roofing subcontractor reached out to Brait and advised everyone that they do not have an estimated time of delivery. They don't know when the material is coming in. Sarnafil and Titan Roofing and Brait Builders stepped up to the plate here and have worked pretty hard to get a product substitution. I don't know that we'd call it a product substitution because we're actually changing the material itself. The composition of the material, how it's going to act on the building will still be the same. But Perkins Eastman and PMA have run through. We've gotten the following letter. So this was a 2-page letter that we received comparing the two products. Very minimal differences. The warranties would stay the same. I'll have Dan speak to any type of the one tear strength difference that is noted in here. But the assemblies are all going to be the same. We received that letter today from Brait and Titan. And really it's a product change due to availability that's being requested. And I think PMA and Perkins can both say that we would recommend moving forward to make sure we can get this building weather tight. Dan, Perkins, I'll let you guys speak to anything else you want to speak to on this product and proposal.
Primary difference between the two products is the scrim, the reinforcement, and the actual membrane itself. The one that we specified is a fiberglass scrim, which is the product, which is the component that is not going to be available until potentially the beginning of the year, if not into the spring. The polyester is the one that is available, and that's what they're proposing that we substitute or they use as a design change here. The big difference is that the polyester is a scrim that's designed for adhered systems as well as mechanically fastened systems, because the polyester resists, when it's nailed in, it resists tear when it's pulled on. The glass mat is preferable for a fully adhered system, which is what we have. So they can both be used for fully adhered. You wouldn't use the glass mat for a mechanically fastened. You would use the polyester scrim for a mechanically fastened. And their contention is that the polyester scrim can be used for either or. They have given us assurances, at least from the shop drawing level, that all the detailing is the same. I've asked them to also give us assurances that the detailing from the contract documents is also the same, so that they take full responsibility for the roofing and the installation of the roof. Because again, it's a change in the design. It's not what we designed or specified. So that's we want to make sure that the manufacturer takes responsibility for the roof for the next 30 years.
So with that being said, happy to take any questions on this. We're hoping that we don't have a lot of these type of items, but with the kind of the climate that we're in now, we have seen it. This is obviously a large one. The committee had already moved on an additional warranty, which is still in place. We have confirmed that it will still be the 30-year warranty. But we did, this being a product change and a design change, we did want to bring it to this committee's attention and for their approval as well. So if there's any questions, happy to answer them too.
What's the cost difference?
No cost difference.
No cost difference.
And that was part of what Dan, I think part of the design, part of what Dan was saying was looking for confirmation that there's no detail changes. And I think that's associated with what Dan was also saying, and that is that there are no detail changes, meaning that they won't be coming to us for installation changes or cost or changes like that, that the details all match.
So why initially did we choose the other one rather than this? Was there a reason?
The initial change was actually, so the product you see on the right, the G410 glass mat reinforcement, what was originally specified, you'll see under thickness, it says 0.8. The original specification was the 0.72. There was, they did not have that product available, so they offered the town the option to go to a thicker mill, so a thicker membrane, and increase the warranty by double.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Does anyone else have questions?
I have two. Could you just comment on the differences here, and if they are, for those of us that are not experts in this, between, like tensile strength and tear strength, and if, I know they're comparable, but what might be a better quality, or it's a slightly reduced quality, but not really significant, or, put it in those terms, and also if there's going to be any aesthetic difference at all?
There's no aesthetic difference. It's exactly the same look. Like that, I can tell you. It's tough to tell you from a real exact standpoint the difference between 49 pounds and 22 pounds. I think that the two products are 325 versus 110. I think that this S327 is specifically designed for mechanical fastening, so that it's designed so that when it is able to withstand the forces of being nailed in and pulled upon by the nails. It's not fully adhered, and the glass mat is specifically designed to be fully adhered. Although the polyester scrim can be fully adhered, it would be unwise to mechanically fasten. I don't think they would allow that in the glass mat version. So I don't think the differences they're not huge differences. The biggest being the tensile strength, but again, it's more of a thing about the pull out and the actual ripping of the actual fabric of the roof from the nails that would be penetrating in order to hold it in. That's really what their concern is. That's why the tensile strength is much higher on the S327 than the G410.
So to follow up on that, so the idea here would be that this would then be adhered to make that change.
Which it is.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that, just to make sure I'm going to potentially beat the dead horse here, the tearing itself is when you're installing. This is not a matter of what's the tensile strength. If a very big windstorm comes up and something hits the top of the roof, like that, it's independent of this rating. This rating is literally for the actual installation for that tensile strength, or no?
No, this rating is for the roof, for the roofing.
Got it. Okay.
The tensile strength on the polyester scrim is higher than the glass mat
Because it's installed with.
because it's usually installed
with nails.
mechanically. Yeah, with nails.
So Dan, is it, and correct me if I'm wrong, in theory, the tensile strength on the polyester is stronger in those two aspects because it can be adhered mechanically, and it needs to be because of that installation. Is that accurate?
That's correct. And it needs to be to withstand the forces that are put upon it from people walking on it, working on it, the wind, nature, loading, because of the every time you do that, you are putting force on the nails.
So devil's advocate, if you're in which we're not, if we are in a hurricane zone, is this something where that's a consideration that becomes, you go for the polyester scrim specifically because of that? Or am I just overcomplicating it?
That's tough.
You're
question
smiling.
to answer.
I can see it.
I don't know which
Smile.
one I would do. I mean, we specified a fully adhered system. That's what we prefer. So that's what we generally use. We don't generally use mechanically fastened.
I trust you more than my back napkin figuring this out right now.
No.
Armchair.
I mean, they're gonna fully adhere it either way.
Yeah.
Dan, is it a true statement that if you were concerned about labor cost or labor availability, because it's more labor to fully adhere a roof, you might consider changing to this S327 product and doing a mechanically fastened? Is that really what the purpose of this product would be if you wanted a 80 mil 30-year warranty and you wanted mechanically fastened? This is what you would use, right?
Yeah. And, no, this is still it's a high quality product from a well-known, reputable manufacturer. So if you were looking for that kind of, if you're looking for this kind of full mechanically fastened roofing system, this is definitely where you would go.
Is this going to have any impact on the future plans, such as I know we talked about installing, getting ready for solar and those kinds of things as we progress through the years? Installation of any mechanical equipment on top, could this have an impact on how they do that later down the road?
shouldn't have any impact on that because they're both in installation, they're gonna be the same.
So, what is inferior about mechanical then? Because I haven't heard you say anything, but you had indicated that typically your preference from a design perspective is the adhesive. So why? What's the downside of a mechanical approach?
I think it's just a personal preference. I think there's plenty of manufacturers who make this product. There's plenty of roofs out there that are fully mechanically fastened, and there are plenty of them that are fully adhered. So we typically do a full cover board on our roofing system and then do a fully adhered system over that cover board. If you didn't have the cover board, you might decide to do a mechanically fastened system.
We'll stay, so we own fully adhered, and we're still going to be fully adhered, so we're not changing
Yes,
that.
we're not changing that.
And this is David Twombly. So I think one of the things that we have as part of the project is we're going to have a building envelope commissioning, which includes the roof. So with that commissioning, I'm not sure like what they do, but do they do like a pull test or something to make sure that it's adhered correctly and all that stuff?
Usually the roofing manufacturer sends a representative out, and what they'll do is they'll do all the testing and all the things they want to do to make sure that they're okay signing off and providing the warranty for the roofing system. So we'll do our work from a kind of a building envelope standpoint, but we won't play with the roof itself, the membrane. But SECA may decide based on what they're seeing that they may do something like that depending on what they're seeing, or they may not. But ultimately, they'll have a representative come out, and that representative will review everything, and they'll give you a sign off and a warranty. Without them doing that, they won't provide a warranty.
It'll be a full roof walk once it's complete, David. And if you'd like to be part of that, I think a lot of times they actually prefer the owner to be there. So we're certainly happy to include you in that walkthrough. But Dan's right. Typically, the manufacturer will come out and ensure that Titan Roofing has completed the installation, and that they will tell Titan that they will warranty that roof. It's really between those two to ensure that the installation is correct, and then the building envelope, the commissioning agent will also do the IR scan. That'll look for any type of imperfections, and they'll be required to fix those too. But it's really almost I don't want to say belts and suspenders, because we definitely need both, but two independent ways to ensure that the roof is good for the owner. So we'll do the IR scan. We'll have periodic reviews from both the architect and also from the commissioning agents to ensure that the installation's going on as per the drawings and specifications.
Yeah, just to add one other comment, we do have SECA Sonnenfeld on some of our other schools, and we're familiar with them. And exactly what Dan said, they won't give you the warranty until they come out and they actually check the entire roofing system out. So it has to meet their specifications. So I would agree with that.
Yep, and that's on Titan and Brate to ensure that those go down properly and on their end, and then on the other end we have the commissioning agent working through the MSBA to double check all that type of stuff too.
So in that scenario, if there was a challenge to that, then it would just be to dumb it down. There might be like a punch list that then goes back to those two to then go back out and configure or fix or update or whatever it might be.
You got it. Yep.
Okay.
That's right.
Nice. I got one right. All right. One.
So if there's no more questions, I'll let Alicia. I think we're looking for a vote from this committee to approve Perkins Eastman to review the product substitution and get that off. Get that ready for break.
Okay,
Jackie's back, so she's going to take.
Perfect. Thank you.
So Walter, just want to make sure. So we are voting to allow you to review the product substitution of the roofing material to the polyester reinforced scrim S327. Is that how you want it worded? How?
I would say committee voting to approve the product substitution of of the G410 glass mat to the S327 felt back.
Okay. So what Walter said, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Great. All right, I'm going to do a roll call vote. I can't see everyone, so just shout out. Weintraub?
Yes.
Sobry?
Yes.
O'Neill?
Yes.
Fulgenetti?
Yes.
Carlson?
Yes.
Cabral?
Yes.
Helen?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Cedarbaum?
Yes.
Vamosi?
We'll see, yes.
And Wiseman, yes. Thank you.
Jackie, this is David Twombly. Can I ask Walter a question? One follow-up question?
Of course you can, David.
So Walter, I think from today when we had the weekly construction meeting, sounded as though Brate was looking to order this stuff relatively soon. I just don't want to get into another situation where we got to change products.
I don't want that either. We are going to get this over to them as quickly as we can. We will have the, we'll likely get an email over to them either by the end of this meeting. Chad is typing it now. So they will have an approval to get this going tomorrow or now. Yep.
Thank you.
No, we don't want to do this again.
Okay. 1 second. Jump to the next item, cash flow update. So through the month of September, 22.7 million spent to date. MSBA reimbursement of 6.75. We will have, I apologize, I didn't put the number in on pending MSBA audit, but that is because we do not have a propay in with them right now. But there's about $10 million going into the MSBA for reimbursement review within the next week or sooner. So right on target right now. We were a little low in August, and I think that's pretty actually a little low in August and July. And what we see in the schedule is reflective of the cash flow. Just means that we're obviously keeping an eye on the budget as well as we're moving through. So you can kind of see it in both lights. Construction look ahead. We have very little structural steel detailing left. We have very minimal punch list, which is great. The only difficult thing is the structural steel company has kind of demobbed, so they're back every so often to finish up. So they have a few items, a handful of items to get finished up, but we're working through that. We're going to complete the underground MEP installations in C&A building. So those are the only 2 slabs we have left to pour. The second floor is completely decked or poured with concrete. And then we have two areas left. So the cafeteria, the main lobby, the gymnasium, and then C building. We're going to continue to look to complete the MEP coordination in the building. So one of the tasks that Brate's been working through, and they kind of do it building by building, is to ensure that mechanical trades do not have clashes running through the building, that your plumbing is not running into your ductwork, not running into your fire protection, not running into your electrical. So usually largest goes first, up high, that's ductwork, kind of in coordination with fire protection who need pitch, and then plumbing follows, and then electrical follows. So they're working through, I believe they are out in the C building at this point, but that's first, second, and underground. So they're working through there. We're likely going to be done with masonry, I would say, for CMU block masonry, in the next few months. So that's great. We won't have any winter weather to contend with for that type of masonry. Going to continue installation of the temporary roof. So right now we're about halfway roof through the building, so they'll continue that installation. Going to continue the exterior framing, which is in combination with the exterior sheathing. So right now, as you drive by the building, you'll see that purple EXP gyp board going up. That is an exterior product. Gets hung and screwed into the metal framing. That'll continue right around the building. Retaining wall 5 is complete. They just have some backfilling that they need to get done over there. So we'll be able to get some additional parking on site, which is really going to help, because in the next few months, we're going to jump from about 60 guys on site to probably close to 100 plus, and it's going to get real busy on site over there, which is great. But it's just going to be congested. So continue with installation interior and exterior framing. So we're moving through the building and topping off in areas. Ductwork and hot and cold water lines for mechanical units. I did see that there are roof curb or RTU curbs on site, so those will be heading up to the building, on top of the building pretty soon. Going to continue with the mock-up installation. We heard today that we had our first delivery of windows, so some windows are actually getting temped in the E building, and then some of those are actually going to be the actual windows going in. And we're going to continue with our commissioning coordination efforts, as you heard when David was speaking, that we have our commissioning agent on board, and the Sarnafil, those products will get reviewed. So we've had those kickoff meetings, and just working through any type of issues that come up. So quick contingency update. So we are almost 30% of the time elapsed through the project, so 30% through the schedule. Construction contingency, as you all remember, was about $3.74 million. That does not include the bid savings. We did not put that in here to track against. Excuse me. At this point in time, 2 change orders have been executed, and we have pending approved change orders of about $45,000. Those 2 change orders total almost $75,000. We have exposure of about $761,000. A lot of that current exposure is due to an unforeseen condition on the eastern side of the site. I think you all remember we talked about it. We've shown a lot of pictures. That work's complete. We actually did finally get the pricing on that. So about $353,000 of that current exposure is of that underground unforeseen condition. So what you'll see at the next update is about half of that is going to move up to the pending change orders or change orders approved. Again, we'll reiterate that does not mean that PMA is in agreement that the town owes that much money on change orders. We are constantly reviewing and working through. So we have, I would say, anywhere from 10 to 15 potential change orders out there, or pending change orders out there right now that are in review in some form or another, that have either been sent back for revisions. They included incorrect pricing or markup or hours. But we are reviewing those on a daily basis with Bree and making sure we get through. What's important to remember is we are 30% of the way through the project, and 85% of the contingency is still available. And that includes with the exposure. That's that bottom bar. And on the right, you'll see we've touched none of the soft cost contingencies. So happy to take any questions about that as well. All right. So with that, we have our next 2 meetings scheduled for the rest of the year. I believe that we've gone with the 3rd Wednesday, so those are probably scheduled out in people's calendars through into 22. But November 17th and December 15th, I don't have any new business, but I'll ask Chad, any new business to bring up?
Nothing on my end. Perkins, anything? I'm not sure if Perkins has anything now.
Yeah.
Oh, quick, I don't know if Dawn's still on, but I wanted to give the committee a quick update.
I am.
Over the last, feel free to jump into, over the last 2 weeks, there have been a lot of meetings with staff, with teacher staff and school administration on FF&E and IT. So I wanted to let everyone know that is in process right now. We obviously have the budget in the project funds, but those are being worked out right now, and I think we're targeting late January, early February, Dawn, for purchase orders for those. Is that accurate?
So most of the meetings have happened. There are a handful that will continue. I think there are a couple tomorrow and maybe a couple early next week to finish it out. But Andrea with Point Line Space is our consultant. She's pretty much run the majority of the meet. So thank you to everyone who's sat through them all and participated. It's been great, conveying their desires and what they want to see and sit in and, have a chance to order for their room. So from everyone and for feedback and figure out what will, prioritize what will fit in the budget, what maybe needs to,
I lost that last piece, Dan.
Yeah, she's kind of cutting out a little bit.
Either way, I'll jump in.
Hold on orders. So they're late this year. So lots of work being done on that end. Gosh, there's a kickoff.
There's a kickoff at some point.
So I guess I could jump in if you want. I was in pretty much almost all the meetings with David as well, and Andrea and Dawn were fantastic. They took us through the process. We went through literally every space with user groups. So they were all the staff who used specific groups for specific functions were able to weigh in everything from custodial spaces, cafeteria, classrooms, nurse's office, administration, etc. So those have been carefully looked at. There will be a meeting where they will provide sort of hands-on materials that the staff can look at, just a couple of choices based on what they described as the needs for each area. And then, as I think Walter said, POs around January. So those have gone very, very well. The staff was excited. As you can imagine, in some cases, when you have larger groups, to get everyone to agree on a particular product or size of something, it can be a challenge, but we were able to work through all of them, and things went really well.
And one thing Dawn was trying to note in there before the connection was cut off is that Andrea will put together pretty much the entire wish list and see where the budget's at, and then we'll have another iteration where unfortunately the entire wish list doesn't always get met, and that's kind of laid out in the process when we start, that not everything can meet within that MSBA budget, but we try to find a way to get the items that are going to be most beneficial within that budget. So that'll be a couple iterations between, if an item needs to change from this table to this table or this chair to this chair. But Point Line Space is conscious of Easton's budget, and we'll work through that. And they've done a great job on a lot of PMA projects and a lot of Perkins Easton projects, and they know how to get the most money or get the best bang for the buck. So that was really everything I had for new business.
One of the nice things about it, just one more little mention on this, is that we actually had the casework shop drawings in hand while these meetings were all going on, and Freight was unhappily waiting for them, asking about them week after week after week. And the reason we were holding them was to get through these meetings so that any tweaks for any of the individual spaces that had to happen in the casework could be made on the shop drawings. So I think that the timing was really good, that we were able to catch some of the little things that people wanted to change before those drawings got approved and sent back and built.
So anyone from the committee have any new business to bring up?
Look who's back.
It's not working, Dawn.
It's not working.
No, Dawn, no.
All right. So sorry. Will anyone else from the committee have any other new items? I will turn it back over to you guys.
Thank you so much. Does anyone have any last minute comments or questions?
No, it sounded like you couldn't hear. I was like, wait, maybe they can't hear me.
Okay, we'll look forward to Dawn's update next time. All right, then if there's nothing else, I'll take a motion for adjournment.
O'Neill, so moved.
Do I have a second? Great.
Second.
All right, so I'm going to do roll call. Weintraub,
Yes.
Sabri,
Yes.
O'Neill,
Yes.
Fulgenetti,
Yes.
Carlson,
Yep.
Cabral,
Yes.
Helen,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Cedarbaum,
Yes.
Vamosi,
Mostly, yes.
and Wiseman, yes. So thank you all so much. I hope everyone has a great night, and I love seeing the school go up every day I drive by. It's better and better. It's very exciting. So thank you all so much. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Great week, everyone.